This podcast is sponsored by nobody. Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today, I will be welcoming back my good friend, the beautiful, the talented, the gorgeous Barbara Elwick. She is my longtime friend from the Bay Area who used to host karaoke out there. And now she's retired from that. We're going to be nerding out on the entertainment of our youth today, talking about film, television, and music, and catch up a little bit. You know, the last time we talked was right in the middle of the pandemic, and it's going to be a great conversation today, a great third conversation. I love Barbara. She is so awesome, and I'm really excited. Also, this Friday, September 6th, I will be dropping Ask Tommy number 7, where I answer frequently asked questions from fans and listeners, so keep your eyes peeled for this toe curler. In fact, there will be a toe curling question that you should all keep an ear out for. So yeah, here is my new interview with Barbara Elwick.
Hello.
Hey, Barbara, welcome back. How are you today, hun?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fabulous. How's summer been for you?
It's a little busy because I've been back and forth to the Bay Area, but
Oh, really?
I've been home now for a couple of months, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. How is it over there?
I love it. It's a lot less stressful than California.
No, I mean California. How is it over there?
Crazy.
Yeah.
I think it's worse. Like people are so angry.
Yeah. Last time I was there was Christmas of 2019, and yeah, it was way different from when I left 2 years before. It was starting to get that way, but it got worse after I left.
Yeah, they're not happy people anymore.
No.
I mean, they've got the best of everything, but the cost of living is just outrageous. Cost of gas is $6 and something. I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't know how people survive.
I know. I mean, I see a ton of that over here in Modesto, but not quite as frequent though. But
So it
yeah,
hasn't hit you guys as bad as it has, the Bay Area.
yeah, God,
So,
it's awful.
I mean,
But
even Sacramento has come up in price a lot.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
God, it is crazy, crazy.
Yep.
So going back in time, do you remember the first movie that impacted you as a child?
The first movie, I think it was Ben-Hur. That was one of my favorite movies.
Ben-Hur.
Hmm.
That's a long movie.
That's an old one.
Yeah. Back to the Future for me was definitely the
Hmm.
first movie that truly had an impact on me because I always had that fantasy of going back in time
Hmm.
it's seeing my parents in high school and finding out why they're so fucked up and I'm so fucked up. You know, I think
Well,
that's why most
you
people
live and learn.
yeah, I think that's why most people love that movie. You know, that's why I think the
Hmm.
appeal of it is.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was much later for me in my life.
Yeah. What genre did you gravitate toward the most
With movies or music or what?
with movies?
Movies, I'm more of a rom-com.
Mm-hmm.
My husband is more of a blood and guts, and so
Well, that was his job.
yeah, yeah. So we try and find something in between. So
Yeah,
it ends
what?
up being Marvel movies.
Yeah. What were your favorite romantic comedies?
I think my most favorite was The Notebook.
That's a romantic comedy.
Well, it's not a comedy, but it was it was a beautiful movie.
Yeah,
Romantic comedy, I think It's All About Mary. Was that one?
yeah,
Is that what it was
definitely.
called? Yeah,
There's a dirty
that was
one.
so funny.
It was dirty, but yes, it was romantic.
Yes, it was funny. Yeah, those are what I. Oh, actually, the other one I liked was I think it was Notting Hill.
Notting
Julia
Hill.
Roberts
Yeah.
and what's his name? The English guy.
Hugh Grant.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I
that was fun.
the romantic comedies I love are like Annie Hall is my favorite one of all time with
That was a
Woody
good
Allen.
one.
Yeah,
That was
just
a good one.
just the way you are with Christy McNichol, all those silly ones that came out in the late '80s, like
Mm.
Splash and Mannequin and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. But those didn't really. I mean, they were enjoyable, but it didn't. I
Well,
guess it wasn't. It was good, but
well, to go back further than that, I mean, the Philadelphia Story uh, is a favorite of mine. Anything with
Uh
Cary
huh.
Grant, Bringing Up
Mm.
Baby, The Thrill of It All with James Gardner and Doris Day.
Yeah, I don't think I saw that.
Oh, that's a classic,
Is it?
1963. Yeah,
Huh.
he gets a bulldozer and bulldozes the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah, I don't. I'll have to look that up.
Carl Reiner wrote it, and Norman Jewison directed it before he started directing melodramas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, comedy and horror for me were like mine growing up. Like horror started when I was one. My parents showed me The Shining. They didn't like horror, but they loved Jack Nicholson, so they let me watch The Shining, and it fucked me up really bad. And then when I was
That was
seven,
frightening.
yeah. And then when I went back when I was seven to watch it, it was all chopped up on USA, and then it became my like go-to Halloween movie every year after that.
Yeah, that one was a scary one.
It was, and Stephen King didn't like it. It's because he didn't think that Jack Nicholson was right for the role because he seemed to be crazy from the moment that the movie started.
That's true.
Well, he's just
I think,
Jack.
but I think he was perfect for it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, way better than Steven Weber in that miniseries remake.
Yep. Yeah. True enough.
Yeah, for comedy, I love the old, comedy teams when they made movies. Hope and Crosby, Martin and Lewis, Laurel and Hardy, the Marx Brothers. Did you like any of those guys?
Hmm. I'm not. I didn't care for those guys at all.
Really?
Um. Yeah, I wasn't much into slapstick. I mean, it's like the Three Stooges and all those guys. I mean,
Uh,
it drove me nuts because they were so stupid. I guess they were funny. I
I
don't
love the Three
know.
Stooges.
It was like, why are you hitting him? My brother used to love it, but I would look at him like, you're nuts.
It's
But
it's a Kovac man family trait that I've inherited.
yeah, yeah. Comedies, let me see. Who do I like? I like Steve Martin. I think he was great.
Steve Martin, the best.
Yep, he was good.
I loved all the
And Robin Williams was
Robin,
was outrageous.
all the Saturday Night Live guys and
Oh
Second
yeah.
City guys. Loved them all.
Yep. Yep.
I
True
mean,
enough.
they were really like starting that wave of filling in the shoes of all those other guys that I was mentioning before about all the movies that they made and stuff, and that they would all collaborate and team up in movies and stuff. That's like non-existent now. Like no one's doing that these days.
Oh, everybody's so they get so butthurt about everything. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't, comedians cannot. They have to be so careful in what they say because somebody's going to get hurt or somebody's going to get pissed off. And it's like, it's comedy, folks. Come on, laugh a little.
It's always
You
it's always happened. It's always going to happen. Just now they have a name for it: cancel culture.
I know, but it's so stupid. If you can't laugh at yourself,
Yeah,
then go sit in a hole somewhere. you
yeah.
know? Because you're taking life way too serious.
It's bad. Yeah. Uh,
It's awful.
how about Charlie Chaplin?
I never got into him.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I know he's a classic, but I guess it just wasn't my kind of stuff.
It's funny. In the '70s, before he died, he was licensing his likeness to all these companies to use for commercials because he
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to be forgotten. The first time I ever saw him, uh, we were at the drive-in when I was about 3 and a half. My mom had to go to the snack bar to complain about something, and she took me with her. And there was a stand-up cardboard poster of Chaplin selling Bagley's cookies, and I was like, "Hey, mommy, I want a cookie just like that man has." And she's like, "You don't get a cookie. I'm mad."
Oh, that's not fair.
I'm sure I probably got one. I don't remember after that.
I'm sure you did.
But that was the first time I remember seeing him. Did you grow up in the Bay Area?
No, I grew up in Hong Kong.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay,
Yeah.
because when my parents were growing up in the Bay Area, they used to watch the Action 36 KICU movie in the early '70s, and there was this woman, Carol Doda, who was hosting. She
Hmm.
had huge knockers. She was like a stripper, and I guess she was like an early
Yeah, I
porn
knew who she
star.
was.
Yeah, and like they would watch that, and then Bob Wilkins hosted KTVU Channel 2 Creature Features
Yep.
before he recruited John Stanley to take over. I've had John on the podcast twice. He's a great guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I remember those guys. I came to the United States in 1976.
Okay, so you got here just in
So,
time.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we grew up watching BBC in Hong Kong. So we very familiar with the British comedies.
That's interesting. BBC in Hong Kong. Wow.
Hmm. Well, it was a British colony, so
Was it like Benny Hill and Monty Python?
yep. Couldn't stand Monty Python. I could not stand him. It drove me. It was like, oh my god, I don't understand his movies.
I know they're self-deprecating and they're very surreal, whereas Benny Hill was very body and you got exactly what he was trying to do.
Hmm. Hmm. Exactly. So
I
good,
loved
good.
Benny Hill. It's funny, he did all these 1 hour specials in 20 years, and they're all chopped up and they're on so many compilation videos. It would take forever and frustrating to like compile all of them,
Hmm. Yep.
And I've tried, trust me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I got Benny Hill as I got older. I think when living, well, in Hong Kong, I was young, so you don't, and we were very sheltered, so we didn't understand a lot of that stuff. My parents were like, "You don't do this, you don't get to do that, you don't get to do anything." It's like, okay.
Were you into James Bond movies?
Later on in life, I wasn't allowed to go see them in Hong Kong. When I
Wow.
came here,
Hmm.
then yeah, as an adult, yeah, my favorite was Sean Connery, and then it was
Yeah.
Roger Moore, and then Pierce Brosnan.
I never got into Pierce Brosnan, but Sean Connery definitely was my favorite. And there's a couple
Yeah.
gems that Roger Moore did. I loved The Spy Who Loved Me. That one is my favorite Roger Moore one.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
he
Live and
did.
Let
He did
Die.
some good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, Man with the Golden Gun was the other one. Was that?
I'm
I think it was called that.
I'm a little embittered about that one because Alice Cooper did the theme song and they rejected it because he was so controversial. And I've heard it on his album Muscle of Love. It is fantastic. It's the best Bond song ever.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, you can't win them all.
Yeah, and remember ABC? They would play the Bond movies like every month for like 25 years. I remember when The Living Daylights with Timothy Dalton played. That ended up being the last one before their contract expired, and then they went over to Fox. And like I doubt very few people watched the newer ones on Fox because ABC was such a huge channel.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we catch them every once in a while on the weekend or something. They'll
Yeah.
come on.
I've got a huge
It's cool.
VHS collection, and I have those early Bond movies on VHS on CBS Fox Video, the early prints, and it's magical to me. I could just pop them
Mm.
in and just be so entertained.
Gosh, I wish I got rid of all my VHS tapes when I moved here. I had boxes and boxes, and I just tossed them all.
Damn, you should have gave them to me.
I know and all my DVDs, and yeah, I just got rid of them. Actually, the DVDs I gave to a senior center, but yeah,
Did
I
you
had a huge collection.
did you think you wouldn't be watching them in Arizona?
Well, everything is streamed now, so it's like the DVDs just take up room. So I didn't keep them,
Oh boy, that's
which wasn't too smart, I think. Should have
yeah.
kept some of them.
Well, it's funny, when I was homeless during that time, and I had to give away all my VHSs and stuff. There was a lot of them I kept for sentimental reasons, but then the
Hmm.
rest were all gone, and I've started over, since 2017, and it's been such a miracle. But I keep thinking, oh God, what if I'm ever in that place again? What am I going to do with them?
Hmm. Yeah. Well, hopefully that will not happen.
Hopefully, hopefully. Do you remember your first driving experience?
Yeah, it was. What did we go see? Um, hmm, I remember it was in the East Bay. Uh,
That's when you first came
oh
to
gosh.
California, is when you started going.
Yeah, yeah, because we didn't have drive-ins in Asia. But oh my gosh, I'll never forget it because I thought it was so cool because my daughter was very young
Hmm.
and we didn't have a sitter and we wanted to go see a movie, so we said, okay, let's go to drive-in. First time ever. I think it was Star Wars, something like that. No, what was what came out in late 70s. I can't remember now.
That was in '77.
Star Wars. Yeah, that must have been it then because it was it was fun. And
Yeah,
then it became one of those things where every chance we got, we'd go because we could take our child with us.
yeah. You and I heard what's so crazy. HBO premiered Star Wars on Sunday at midnight, going into Monday, and I found out that so many schools around the world were full of empty classrooms because kids stayed up late to watch Star Wars on HBO.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is
Yeah, that makes
crazy.
sense.
And I was
Yep.
about 6 months away from being born too. It was January 2nd, 1983.
Oh wow. You're just a baby.
Yeah. I was 2 when my parents started taking me to the drive-in. Took me to see Weird Science and Rambo 2, and they took me consistently for about a year and a half, and then they stopped taking me for a while because it got to a point where I was either falling asleep in the back seat or I was getting out of the car and knocking on windshields.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah,
You're interrupting people.
yeah. I'll tell you, my dad was a teenager in the '70s, and he would have to go see a movie 3 times because the first 2 times he did not see the movie. He had a date, and he was getting laid in the back seat. He
Um,
did that with
yeah.
Rocky and Animal House and Groove Tube. And when he saw these movies, he was like, "Oh my God, this is a masterpiece! It's going to be an immortal classic someday."
Well, yep.
Yeah, I've been meaning to ask my
Sure.
parents if I was conceived at a drive-in.
Eh,
Just out of
yeah.
curiosity. Someone brought it up to me
Hmm.
recently. They said I should ask my parents. So
Yeah.
getting into television, did you watch
Hmm.
all the well? I mean, I don't know what it was like in Hong Kong as far as television goes, but did you see sitcoms on TV?
We didn't. We got the British ones.
Okay, yeah,
Like we got Archie Bunker, but
yeah. The
it was under a different name.
yeah, the British sitcom that inspired All in the Family. I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yep. Yeah. We started to get American TV probably just before I left Hong Kong. We got the Rookie, but we were always like a season behind.
Yeah. I mean, God, I grew up on all my parents' generations of sitcoms: Leave It to Beaver, Gilligan's Island, The Abbs Family, The
Yep.
Munsters, F Troop, Green Acres, Bewitched, I Dream of Jeannie. You know,
Yeah, we got that, but as I said, it was always a year behind, I guess, a season behind.
yeah.
But
Oh,
that's towards when I left, just before I left.
I found out the reason why Jeannie's belly button caused such a controversy on TV was because they thought it was an enticement for the breasts and the vagina.
Well, you know what they said about Elvis, right? They had to film him from the waist up.
Yeah, because of the hip swinging.
Which is, I mean, when you look at it now, it's nothing. You know?
Elvis the pelvis. Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
Nowadays, it's bordering on vulgar, I think, with some of the stuff they do on I don't know. There's no class anymore.
no. But Gene Roddenberry, he ended up breaking that no belly button rule on Star Trek. He had Barbara Luna and Nichelle Nichols break that rule. And I had Barbara Luna on here a few years ago, and she talked about it and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And then he did a pilot called Genesis 2, where Mary Hartley had two belly buttons, and they are so dead on you can't even tell which one's the real one.
It's amazing what they can do.
Well, even back then with makeup, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, sitcoms had a very interesting arc from the 50s to the 70s because in the 50s you had these squeaky clean, white, wholesome all American families on TV like Leave It to Beaver, Make Room for Daddy, and Father Knows Best. Then the 60s, all those fantasy sitcoms that I mentioned before was was popular. And then once you get to the 70s, social commentary comes into play with all the Norman Lear, James L. Brooks, and Gary Marshall sitcoms. And then, you know, I mean, there was a few fantasy ones left over from the 60s into the 70s. You know, I think Sid and Marty Krofft was keeping that alive with their children's puppet shows, you know, but it became a completely different landscape.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you don't get those anymore. The Happy Day times, those are fun to watch.
I love Happy Days. Oh God, that was a favorite of mine. I got to meet
And,
Potsy at a convention before the pandemic.
oh, wow, cool.
Yeah, he was really cool. I remember my mom said to him, "I remember the night that the Happy Days pilot first aired." You know, and when I traced the timeline, my brother was probably just born because he was born in December of '73, and that pilot aired January of '74. So
Hmm.
my mom was starting motherhood at that time.
Wow, yeah, yeah, yep.
Did you watch Batman?
Yeah, I watched when Batman first came out. My brother was very much into it, so we only had TVs, and TV didn't come on till like 5 o'clock in the evening.
Mm,
So there was nothing to watch during the day. So, and I think once a week we'd have Batman, and I used to bug my brother and say, "Call him Fat Man." But yeah, we used to watch that, and then I think, yeah, and that would, yeah, we'd watch that a lot. Batman, Superman.
I watched or I interviewed Burt Ward who played Robin during the pandemic, which was crazy because
Mm-hmm.
his publicist told me Wednesday at noon. So I call him on Wednesday at noon. He's screaming not at me, but just at his publicist in general because he's done this to him before. He told me he couldn't do interviews on Wednesday, and he told me the reason why, and it was really sad. I'll tell you, I don't want to repeat it, but it was
Mm-hmm.
very sweet. Um, but so he said, okay, how about we do tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday. So we did it on Thursday, but I gotta tell you, when he was mad like that, I was trying so hard not to laugh because he's 75 at the time. He still sounds like he's
Mm-hmm.
20. So I'm just expecting him to say, "I'm not gonna be a pawn in your game, Joker."
Yeah,
It was so
that
damn
would be.
funny. Did you watch the Monkees?
Oh yeah, yeah,
I had a huge crush on Davy.
yeah. I was. Yeah, he was cute, but he was too short.
Yeah. Hey, that's okay. He can go down. I
Yeah.
saw the Monkees in '97. They were at Candlestick Park, and oh my God, it was at the time of my birthday and my uncle's birthday. We went with my dad, and we missed the first couple of songs. We found out later that they weren't some of their bigger ones, but we got to hear all the classic hits. And then
Mhm.
they drove off the field in a Cadillac with the top down.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Very cool.
it's like one of the big highlights of my life. It was great.
Mm.
I,
Yeah.
I'm sure even in Hong Kong, you remember the Beatles on Ed Sullivan.
Oh yeah. I mean, Beatles was one of the first big time bands that came into Hong Kong, and it was just chaotic. I wasn't allowed to go to the airport to watch them land, but a friend of my dad was a pilot that flew them into Hong Kong. So he got me their autograph, which was kind of cool.
Oh yeah, my mom met them backstage at the Cow Palace when she was 10 because my great aunt, she worked for the Hilton in San Francisco, and she knew a lot of famous people. It's crazy the
Mm.
famous people she knew, and so my mom got to go backstage and get their autograph. Back then, no one had cameras really, so she didn't get a picture with them, which she regrets because my
Hmm.
uncle accidentally threw out those autographs, and to this day, she does not
Oh
forgive
no.
him. No, yeah.
Oh no. Wow.
Yeah,
Mm. That's too bad.
yeah. But I've interviewed two people who were there that night, or three people who were there that night on the Ed Sullivan Show when the Beatles were on. The husband and wife comedy team, Charlie Brill and Mitzi McCall, who went on afterwards, who bombed. I had them both on
Hmm.
2 years ago. One of the best interview experiences ever. They were just so funny, and they told me, before the show, John Lennon saw them getting Coca Colas out of the machine backstage, and so he knocked on their door and said, "Excuse me, excuse me, I need a Coke for Ringo." And they didn't know who Ringo was yet. All they all they knew about the Beatles was that there were these four boys from England who were driving all the kids crazy. That's all they knew. So
Yep.
Mitzi was like, God rest her, she just died a month ago. Mitzi said, "A Coke for Ringo? What's that, a Jewish holiday we don't know about?"
Oh
I love
no.
that.
Yes, that's a good one.
And then the 13-year-old girl who was shown on the camera monitor, who was the president of the fan club, Debbie Gendler, she just came out with a book. I saw them standing there, and
Mm.
I've had her on twice, and she just she's so good at walking people through that story verbatim every time
Hmm.
because it was the greatest highlight of her life during that period.
Yeah. Well, yep. That was definitely the change of the music scene in Hong Kong.
Oh, everywhere. Kennedy had been assassinated. The world needed,
Hmm.
some optimism and hope.
Yep. True enough.
Did you watch Laugh-In?
Oh yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, I've been watching it on Tubi lately, and like I used to watch it on Nick at Night when I was like 4. It still holds up. I still laugh my ass off when I see it.
It is. I mean, they had. I mean, they were a great bunch too, just like Saturday Night Live and back in the day.
Yeah, I'm a big SNL fan too, especially that original cast because they were doing things for the first time on TV. It was very punk rock and just subversive. They all came from Second City and National Lampoon. It was amazing.
Hmm. Yeah.
But laughing though, oh my God, the things that went on backstage to get that show on the air is just crazy because NBC was like, this is the worst thing ever. It's not going to be popular. It's too drug addled. It's too weird. But yet it became so popular.
Yeah. Oh, everybody was really having fun. That's the thing that is missing nowadays.
Yeah.
it seems like nobody's having fun when they do this. I mean, when you have a show that everybody enjoys it and enjoys making it, it shows, and that's when people gravitate towards it.
It's funny with all the amazing guests Saturday Night Live had hosting the first 20 years. It was difficult getting people to host, but it was really difficult to get guests for laughing. From what I've been told, it was just impossible, especially when you got conservatives like Richard Nixon and John Wayne. But they did them, and those were some of the funniest episodes.
Yep, yep. People were too uptight.
Yeah.
They need to let loose. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I think we're circling back to that again because everybody's so afraid of saying something wrong.
Oh God, it's just insane.
Which is very sad.
It is. It's fucked up.
You can't express yourself, then what's the point?
I know. So, getting into music, which I know you love, do you remember the first album you ever bought with your own money?
Oh, well, let me see. It was probably a Wilson Pickett, something like that, or Temptations.
Ooh, R&B, Motown, yeah.
Yeah, because even back then when I was a kid, we used to have a lot of parties at our apartment. Because my parents wouldn't let us go out, so we'd have everybody come to the apartment, and I used to make all the dance music, and I would record them from radio stations, so you listen to the radio, and we had the tapes, and as soon as they put the song on, I'd record and then try and cut it off before the DJ pipes in, So, that was fun. I mean, it was crazy.
I was an MTV kid, like Phil Collins, No Jacket Required, and Poison. Look What the Cat Dragged In were like my two first CDs I bought with birthday money when I was 8. Yeah, my parents, they had a big old box of vinyl records. They had everything from the Beatles to the Stones to Fleetwood Mac to Captain Beefheart to Rod Stewart. They're huge Rod Stewart fans.
I am too.
James Taylor. Yeah. There's nothing like that stinky, musky smell of vinyl. It's intoxicating.
Yeah, I got rid of all my vinyls when I moved. And I wish I kept it because I had the Beatles, the White Album. Like they called it's the Apple. The White Album that they had.
I love the White Album. People say, it's like a solo album for each member. Yep. It is because they didn't get along for most of the album because they were recording with other people, but it's still a great album nevertheless.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we had two 45 singles in the vinyl collection that my dad gave to me to keep because they were very sentimental to him. I have a 45 of Chuck Berry's Johnny B. Good and Around and Around. That's old. It's all scratched up. It probably couldn't play if we put it on a little turntable. And the Who's You Better You Bet single.
Oh.
That was like a love song for both of my parents when they first got married.
Oh, wow.
Because my dad used to say to her, "I love you," and she used to say, "You better."
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. My dad had a rock band when I was a kid called TNA, Tommy and two guys named Alan. And, oh God, they did the most horrible, misogynistic, hard rock songs. And they did the worst covers. I'll tell you, the worst covers of Judas Priest and Black Sabbath.
Oh wow!
I was the 7-year-old who was at rehearsals all the time. Rehearsals started out in the garage, and then when my grandmother moved back in, they moved to a space they rented because she heard the loud noise next door.
Yep.
Yeah, my dad tried to teach me to play guitar when I was a kid, but I just could never master it. My fingers were too fat. I could play one note, that's about it.
Yeah, that's something I still want to learn.
Well, I wanted to play.
one of these days.
I wanted to play drums when I was in junior high, they, they didn't want to be disturbed by the drums in rehearsal in the garage, so that's why I never got to.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first concert?
The first concert, I think it was a Sammy Davis Jr. concert.
Really?
That's how far back it was.
Love Sammy. Love Sammy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Monkees was probably the first one, and then I saw Steppenwolf at the county fair, and John Kay was the only original member, and it didn't matter to me. He's very charismatic and funny, but like all the 40 and 50-year-olds there, they were just like, oh God, the magic is gone.
Yeah.
I was 15.
Yeah.
And then I saw...
Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead.
It's okay. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say Alice Cooper I saw when I was 17, my first, big show. My uncle got me and my dad tickets. He went with us. My uncle's not a big Alice Cooper fan, so he was at the bar talking to women all night while we were at the concert. And... oh my God, Alice is a showman, and I'm still trying to remember how he died that night, because he gets killed at the end of every show.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, he either gets electrocuted, by a electric chair, or he gets hung or shot like it's the Foreign Allegiance or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, he's vaudeville, he's an extension of vaudeville.
Right.
He kept it alive. All those old vaudeville comedians loved him because he was keeping vaudeville alive, just in his own sick way. He hung out with Groucho Marx.
Yeah. Well, he was a classic.
Yeah. Do you remember your first make-out song?
No, I think it was too far back. I can't remember. Oh my gosh.
Mine was Janet Jackson's Love Will Never Do Without You.
Huh.
Yeah.
I really don't remember.
That also led to my first heavy petting experience.
Your what?
First heavy petting experience.
Oh.
How about, did you have comedy records?
No, when I was a kid. As I grew up, we had the, what's his name? Richard Pryor. We had his album, and then the other guy that died.
There's many people who have died.
I know. No, but this one guy, oh my gosh.
George Carlin?
I can't remember his name. Yeah, exactly. Him. Yeah, I liked him.
Yeah.
Although he got a little weird as he got older.
Yeah, I've interviewed his daughter and stuff, but I love George Carlin. I love all his stuff because just... even as weird as he got, he had such a clever mind. He thought of stuff that other people ordinarily wouldn't think of.
Yeah, that's true. But I think he got really mad at the world or something towards the end.
Yeah, he did.
Because he was very dark.
He was. I don't know where that came from, because when I watch stuff up until his '86 special, he was just this lovable, goofy guy. But then, starting in '88, he started getting crazier and crazier.
Yeah, and that's when I kind of lost it. It was like, I can't watch this guy anymore. He just got really weird.
Yeah.
So, but Richard Pryor, I thought, was just so funny. He was great.
Oh, yeah. We had a Richard Pryor album, but it didn't have a jacket. It just had, or it didn't have a cover. It just had the jacket. I don't know. I guess somebody from my parents' partying days, made off with it or something.
Oh, that's not very nice.
No. We had Lily Tomlin's This Is a Recording. I still love that album.
Lily Tomlin?
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to like watching them when they did was it Farm Relief? When they had
Farm Aid.
Robin Williams, Farm Aid, yeah.
And Comic Relief.
Whoopi Goldberg, yeah.
Oh, that's Comic Relief.
Those were so good.
I used to love those. Oh my God! You'd see the who's who of comedy in those shows.
Yep, and they were all good. They were all good.
They would have all the old guys come do stuff. They had Steve Allen and Bill Dana
Yeah,
and Tom Poston and Don Knotts. And, oh God, it was just fantastic. I used to love
it
those.
was good. Yep. And that back then, Whoopi Goldberg was funny.
Hmm.
She was so good.
She's less
And then,
angry. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know what happened to her. She just used to be so nice and everything. Now she's just mean. I don't know what happened.
The View happened to her.
Well, true enough. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I think they get on there and they get on their soapbox and then it just becomes bad.
I'm surprised that show's still on, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's just weird.
Yeah.
But,
I remember Cheech and Chong's Big Bamboo.
oh, I love Cheech and Chong. I thought they were so funny.
Oh, God, everybody in the Bay Area thought I was cool for a week when I interviewed Tommy Chong.
Yeah,
I only got
yeah,
to ask him maybe 4 questions because the whole time he's just talking. It was great, though. It was definitely a highlight.
yeah, yeah. They were funny. And like their movie was just so, I mean, you couldn't, there wasn't a minute you weren't laughing.
Oh yeah, all those movies that they did were great. Up in Smoke and Cheech and Chong's next movie are like my two favorites.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So last time you and I talked was during the pandemic. What's been going on since then?
Not much. Just here living in Tucson, loving life,
Mm.
so nothing else much. I mean, life down here is, it's a lot less stressful.
Yeah.
I mean, people here are very nice. They're very friendly. Everybody smiles. Everybody says hello. What I find in the Bay Area, you smile at somebody, they sneer at you like, "Why are you smiling at me?" It's like, "Whoa, excuse me, I
Yeah.
didn't mean to smile at you. I'm sorry." It's so weird.
me and my mom.
Um,
Me and my mom. We
I mean,
moved.
the weather here is so hot, but I
Yeah.
love the heat, so it doesn't really bother me.
Me and my mom. We moved into our very own house back in June.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because she sued the company she worked for. It took 4
Mm-hmm.
years, but we got the letter 2 days before Christmas, and it was a Christmas
Nice.
miracle. It was
Yeah.
wonderful.
Oh,
And
good. Congratulations.
thanks. This summer's been awful though because we had a Fourth of July party. My brother caught COVID, then my mom, and then me. My nephew for some reason did not catch it, and
Oh,
on top of that, my stepsister died at 45.
oh, I'm so sorry.
Yes, and two longtime friends of mine died this summer too. One was 45 and one was 40. And I've had four overall friends die this year, all in their 40s, and three of them had young
Wow.
kids.
Oh my goodness. That's sad.
It's been
That's
awful.
awful. Yeah. Hmm. Life is short. Gotta live life
It is.
like it's what that song. Live like you were dying.
Which one?
It's very true.
Which one?
Live like you were dying.
Oh, I don't.
Tim McGraw.
I'm not a big country
It's a country
fan.
song. Yeah.
I love the older country guys, but country has gotten so poppy over the years that I don't listen to it anymore.
Oh no, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, because we moved out of Reading a year ago, and then we were living in an apartment for a year. That was great. It was like a house because we had our own
Mm-hmm.
garage,
Oh,
and it was fabulous. But then we moved into this house. The only thing I don't like about it is that downtown is so far that I get I get I get exhaustion very easily, and so
mm-hmm.
like it would be just too much for me to walk from here to there, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think a bottle of water would help it.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Should take up cycling.
Cycling, oh God, I got two bad legs from my accident.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and plus on top of that, when I was a kid, I tried to ride a bicycle and I just couldn't do it. My parents got me a bicycle for Christmas when I was 11, and they're like, oh God, we wasted all this money, but we kept it until we moved, and then we gave it away to somebody.
Mm. Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, just it's been a tough year of grieving and stuff, and and I have bar friends that passed away, and of course Gus and Patty are gone, and I'm just so devastated about that.
That was a shock to me when Gus passed. I didn't know, well, I knew Patty had really bad asthma, but when Gus died, I was just in shock because one of my friends had just substituted for him
Hmm.
at one of his gigs because he wasn't feeling well, and he told him to go to the hospital because he was all swollen. So,
I kind of knew
and
that
then,
he was going to. The funny thing is, I thought he was going to be the first to go because when he had his vocal cord surgery, like what, 12 years ago or something.
hmm
That's when I knew that he was probably going to be the first to go. But the fact that Patty was the first to go was just a complete mindfuck to me.
yeah, well, she had really bad asthma.
God, I have asthma too, but not that bad. Thank God.
Yeah,
It's God.
yeah,
Do
but
you?
yeah, we lost a lot of folks over the last few years. A
I
lot of them were shocking ones. I mean, yeah, it's just, although my friends are a lot older than yours, but
Yeah,
still, I mean, it's still like it's like what happened?
yeah.
It's just amazing.
I know. I thought of Aubrey recently.
Oh, Aubrey was a total shock because he, well, part of it, he didn't believe in doctors,
Hmm.
so he never went.
Well, being a lawyer, I
And
mean, I don't blame him.
yeah, but when something is wrong, and when he started dropping all that weight, I told him, I said, you need to go see a doctor. Something's wrong. Because
Hmm.
he dropped like 20 pounds in a week. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and then when I talked to him, probably a couple of days before he passed, and he was like, I can't believe they told me I have cancer. And I said, what do you mean? And he told me, and before you knew it, it had gone up to his brain.
Ugh.
I mean, that wasn't a matter of weeks. It's so scary.
Didn't Manny die?
No, man, he's still with us.
Okay, because somebody else I knew in that
You
circle.
talking about Elvis Manny?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's still with us. He's doing well.
Okay, because I could have swore that somebody like in that circle died not too long ago, but I don't know.
A lot of people I knew through karaoke passed. A lot of them.
Do you fear death?
Do I fear? No, not really. I mean, it's going to happen. You can't stop
Yeah,
it.
but
So
like
I don't think there's anything to fear.
mhm. But I feared it my whole life up until the accident, and then for a few years after the accident, I didn't because I felt like I had already been there. But since the pandemic and losing friends, I'm starting to fear it now again.
But I mean, what is there to fear?
Leaving loved ones behind, not accomplishing things,
Well,
being a
you
be,
can't help not
mhm,
accomplishing things. I mean,
being
you can only do so much in a day.
the worst, being a statistic.
Well, I think everybody is one. Um, I don't know. I mean, I don't fear it because I know it's going to come one day. I don't know
Yeah.
when, but as long as you have, I mean, as long as you've done good and the best you can, I think that's all you can do. I mean, you can't live your life with regret. Oh, I should have done this. I should have done that. I think if you were to have if you were meant to have done it, you would have done it already.
My uncle died last year at 61. He was my dad's youngest brother. and he died exactly the way he wanted to. He was with a girl in a hotel, and he, was partying, whatever, and his heart just gave out. But my mom told me that he listened to the podcast, and I was like, "What?" Because he hadn't like messaged me in a
Mm-hmm.
few years or anything, and I was like, "Wow, I wish he had told me. I wish he had told me he was proud of me. I always wanted." There's so many members of my family that have not talked to me since I started the podcast that I wish, they would tell me that they're proud of me, because they matter more to me than people in Hollywood by a long shot.
Mm. Yeah, but do you need their validation?
Not necessarily validation, but it's just nice to know that there's family members that are rooting for you.
Mm. Yeah. Well, true enough.
You know,
Yeah.
do you, do
I
you?
mean,
Mm,
I'm very lucky where I have four sisters,
mm-hmm.
and they're all
Healthy.
with us still.
Mm-hmm.
Eh, some not so much, but we're still here. And it, we may not talk every day, but when we're together, we're together. It's one of those things because they all live in California still. I'm the only one that left, but
Right.
it's it's tough because everybody's got their own lives and their children and it, I guess I'm not one for dramatics and drama. I don't like it.
Mm.
It's a waste of time as far as I'm concerned. So I try and stay away from it. But I don't know. I guess I live life one day at a time. That's all
Yeah.
you can do.
That's all you can
I
do.
mean, as long as you're not evil and mean and cruel, I mean, I think you're good.
Exactly. Do you miss hosting karaoke?
I miss the people more than
Mm-hmm.
anything else. I made a lot of good friends in my 23 years hosting. So it was, I miss a lot of my friends. A lot of them have passed on, but I still have a lot in the Bay Area. And every time I go back, I see everybody. I try to see everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And we still sing together and stuff. I don't sing as much now here, but every time I go back, I'm there.
Do you do any singing in Arizona?
Not much.
Not much.
Not much. We haven't found a spot. And my husband is, even though we met at karaoke,
Mm-hmm.
he's not that into karaoke like a lot of my friends are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So.
I miss singing it, but like, my nephew, he goes to the place around the corner from us. He grew up here in Modesto, so he
Mm-hmm.
knows all the places. He's been going to this place for years, and like I would go one night, but it's just I have an addictive personality, and like I'm already addicted to the podcast. I don't want to get hooked on karaoke again and just go down a rabbit hole. I know I won't hang out with shady people again or drink, but I just feel like, okay, I did that. Now I want to do something new. Kind of a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Although singing is a stress release, it really is.
Yeah.
And well, I've had a lot of people while I was hosting would come to you. Oh, my doctor told me to come sing to release stress. I said, it is good for you because when you're singing, you're happy. When there's music, you can dance, and music makes people happy.
Yeah.
I'm totally convinced of it.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, maybe I will again. I don't know, but God, I have so many crazy stories and memories of during those years that I did do karaoke. It's just, it's insane. But the sad thing is, all the hosts that I knew, like practically all of
Mm-hmm.
them, are not in it anymore. They've moved or died. It's sad.
Um. Yeah. I mean, there's
I think Anthony's the only one still doing it.
Anthony is, and I think I don't know if you knew Jason and Laura.
Yeah.
They used to, yeah, they're still, oh yeah, you know Jason a lot. They're still hosting at Round Table in Coma.
Okay, because last time that I talked with them, they weren't doing it no more. So they're back doing
Yeah,
it.
no, they've been at the Round Table for about a year now.
Oh, okay, so it's relatively new.
Yeah, but they're still there. I see them every time I go back. And then Fort McKinley, where Lionel and Debbie are, he's still there
Sam
on Thursdays
Marshall.
and Sundays.
Sam
Sam
Marshall.
Marshall, I don't know.
He unfriended me on Facebook because it's funny. I thought he had someone hacking his account. He was sending me these inappropriate videos and pictures, and I told him, "Sam, stop that. This is
Mm-hmm.
inappropriate. We're not that tight, you know." And then he just unfriended me, and I don't follow him on Instagram, you know. So, and my dad's known him since the late '90s. My dad used to go to bars that he used to perform at and stuff.
Wow. Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
That's what I mean when people get butthurt about something like that. I mean, it's like, come on, you know, you have an opinion too, right?
Yeah, I don't know if you knew Roger Niner.
No.
Yeah, his name's Keith. I worked with him at the Swinging Door for those 2 years that I was a bouncer, and we were very close. And I don't know, he's one of those ones who's just stopped talking to me. After we had lunch in 2016, we were
Mm.
going to have lunch again. I was going to buy this time, and I moved before it could happen. But like him and his wife have stopped talking to me, and it's so sad because I'd love to have him on the podcast to talk about music and stuff because he's a funny guy and everything. But yeah, it's weird. People
Mm.
are weird.
Yep, they are. Instead of picking up the phone and saying, "Hey, you pissed me off," you know,
Yeah,
they just it was just sad because friends are hard to come by.
they are. They are. What
Yeah,
what what color are your nails?
I've got French right now.
You got French. Love it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Summertime usually is French.
I've had pink for a month now. I'm thinking about what color I'm gonna get next.
Oh, it's fall. Time for fall colors.
What's a fall color? Brown.
Burgundy, earth tones. I'm thinking of switching to like a not quite taupe, but like a dark beige. I
Dark
want to
beige.
try it. Back in the day, that was real popular when Barbara Streisand had movies out, like Funny Girl.
Hmm.
She had this. I mean, her nails were really beautiful, and she had this kind of beigey color nail polish. It was just so nice, and that was the popular thing for a long time.
Yeah.
Thinking of going back to that for a little bit and see how it works.
I never realized that about her. I should go see if I can find pictures of her with that nail color.
Yeah, I think it was Funny Girl.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Those are classics. She did one.
Hmm.
She did the first one. Then she did the one with James Caan.
Yep.
Funny Lady. That's what it was called.
Funny Lady. Yeah. And then she did Hello Dolly.
And I've never been a huge Streisand fan. I loved What's Up, Doc. I think it's one of the funniest comedies ever made.
That was funny. Yeah.
It's a San Francisco
Yeah.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Hmm.
I remember the first time I saw that movie, I woke up with one of the worst colds of my life when I was 5. And it was like Christmas week. It was like the week of Christmas. And like, I woke up and saw this movie. It made me feel good for a while I was sick. And then my grandmother got me on a bus and we went to the doctor. And that was that. But I love that movie. It's such a classic.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was a good movie.
I have a few jokes for you.
Okay.
Okay. What do you call a boy that doesn't masturbate?
I don't know.
Oh,
Frustrated.
oh, everyone's always guessing that one. No, a liar.
A liar. That's probably true.
Yeah. What kind of meat does a priest eat on Friday?
No idea.
None.
Not. No. Yeah. I thought about that too after the fact.
It's a nun pun.
Yes.
Oh, this is really bad. How do you make your wife scream twice?
No idea.
First, you fuck her in the ass, and then you wipe your dick on the curtain.
Oh, nice.
That's what I love about you, Barbara. You're not easily offended.
No.
You're so awesome. Barbara, I love you. Thank you for nerding out with me today. And
No problem.
I'm glad we got to catch up, even if it was publicly. And we'll talk again soon. And I'm so glad
Okay.
that you're enjoying, your retirement in Arizona.
I'm not retired. I'm back working.
Oh, well, you're retired from hosting karaoke, at least.
Yep. Yeah, I work from home, so
Oh, that's
it's
good.
cool. Yeah.
That's good. Well, you have a great rest of your day and be safe out there.
You too.
Thank you.
Alrighty. You take care.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
Alright. Bye.
Well, there you have it. Barbara Elwick, ain't she a sweetheart? Oh my god, I just love her. She is just so friggin' awesome. I love her so much, and I'm glad we got to nerd out a little bit and talk about, death and grieving and, more humane things there at the end. It was fabulous, and I'm just so friggin' lucky with the people that I have in my life. I really, really am. Well, until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying there's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks. Later, dudes.